The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people, all this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. How will the economic landscape of Central Asia be transformed by the transit corridor Western Europe, Western China? The current situation and prospects of women-led enterprises in Kazakhstan. The simple truths of life from a Tajik farmer. And the regional kaleidoscope of stories, thirst for adrenaline Kyrgyz style and Turkmenistan through the eyes of Kazakhstan's children. The center of gravity of the world economy is shifting towards Asia. The geographic position of the Central Asian region, due to its location, is key. That is why the transit corridor Western Europe, Western China, in the construction of which Kazakhstan is also participating, is a rare example of a project that has almost no skeptics.
Пример, когда у проекта почти нет скептиков.
According to leading experts in the sphere of transport, it is precisely the Central Asian region which in the near future will become one of the most important transit sections for Western China and Western Europe. It is expected that the annual cargo load passing through this section will reach 30 million tons, and the new road will connect not only China and Kazakhstan, but also Russia and Europe. All the countries of the region will have access to this transit corridor as well. This corridor will not only connect Kazakhstan, China, Russia and Europe. Countries of Central Asia will also have access to it, like Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. Research conducted during the development stage of the technical and economic feasibility study showed that by 2020 the average annual revenue expected from the realization of this project is $900 million, and this is just Kazakhstan's share.
Billion people that they can get the products much easier, much cheaper, because the transportation cost is reduced.
Already today, within the framework of this project, new points for transborder trade are being established, and the southern regions of Kazakhstan, where the transit corridor passes, are the first to witness the changes. Just recently I was in Kazlorda and we went to the Baikonur site and saw a great road service station. Many new transport companies are being established and investments are being made into already existing transport companies. The prospects of this transport and logistics projects are being analyzed on a global scale. Trade volumes between China and the European Union reach almost $600 billion, and it's forecasted that by 2020 this number will reach $800 billion. At the same time, transportation costs will follow a downward trend. If by sea cargo from south of China can reach Europe in 55 to 60 days, then with this project it would be able to reach, let's say, Warsaw in 5 to 7 days. And consequently, transportation costs, if we're talking about two-story containers, will be much lower. The transit corridor Western Europe, Western China is an unmatched upgrade of the world transport system. According to experts, with the growth in trade turnover between strategically important global markets, the project will help world trade stay afloat. Unimpeded transport of cargo from Asia to Europe and vice versa. This is a much shorter way than by sea. The transit corridor Western Europe, Western China may become a unique regional platform for the development of innovations, from road construction technologies to modern methods of smart video monitoring of transport flows. For the countries of Central Asia, among which many are choosing the diversification path, this will be a great impetus. Gender differences in the business sphere are losing their relevance. More and more women are trying themselves out in a new role, the role of entrepreneurs. In Kazakhstan, there is a plan to accelerate this process. And so the question arises, through what means and mechanisms? More on this from our correspondent in Kazakhstan. The potential of businesses led by women is incredibly high in Kazakhstan. According to some experts, the share of women entrepreneurs is almost 60%. Among heads of small and medium businesses, 41% are women. Spheres where women are more prevalent are education, hotel and restaurant services, real estate, health and medical care, and retail. By education, I'm a construction engineer. Graduated from the Moscow Engineer and Construction Institute with honors. And overall, if someone would have told me 20 years ago that I would be in the farming business, I would have not believed it. Thanks to the project of the Fund for Support of Agriculture and Farming, many women in regions of Kazakhstan were able to start their own businesses. Mainly these are farming, mini plants for the processing of agro-products, bakeries, small cafes, and customer service centers. And even though the scale of these businesses is not that impressive, they do reflect the women's interest in entrepreneurship.
Тут истина в чем? Тут кроется в том, что
The matter of fact is that everywhere, even in the business sphere, there is a need for a critical mass of entrepreneurs. Therefore, microcredit loans, we can say, gave life to these businesses.
Вот тем, скажем так, родильным отделением является именно для бизнеса, получается, именно вот эти микрокредиты.
The role and potential of women in entrepreneurship is acknowledged in other countries of the Central Asian region as well. Thus, in Kyrgyzstan, women dominate in the small business sphere, as well as in Tajikistan, where the share of women entrepreneurs constitutes 60%. But despite such a positive trend, there is an important task at hand: to transform quantity into quality, focusing on innovation and the most contemporary trends in entrepreneurship. There are no longer any traces of a civil war in the Vaksh Valley of Tajikistan, but memory often travels back to the events that forever changed the lives of ordinary people. A person whose profession is one of the most peaceful and down-to-earth is the hero of our next story.
В нашем следующем сюжете.
In 1992, the village of Hudaydot Khalov, located 100 kilometers away from the capital of Tajikistan, became the epicenter of a military conflict. Many families left for the more calm regions of Tajikistan. However, Khalov's family refused to flee and remained amidst heavy fighting. Hudaydot's children still recollect some fragments of that period, but his grandchildren do not yet know that shell fragments were dug out from these fields. It is a strange feeling to remember that at some point in time I laid here with a rifle in my hands. A pang of pain hits me, and then I just want to cover this entire piece of land with my body. As the farmer says, the earth is alive. It remembers everything and feels everything. Even when a person dreams of reviving its fertility and getting a good harvest, Hudaydot himself does everything that he can. I can't be called a big or prosperous farmer. This land is only 25 hectares and I have very few funds for business development, but I still make an effort to implement modern technologies in the cultivation of the soil and sowing. It is not just the state subsidies for the purchase of seeds and herbicides which have lent a big helping hand. In the last years, the farmer, along with his compatriots, has been actively participating in international agrarian projects.
Мы проводили очень много за последние 2 года.
We have conducted many, more than 17 open field days in the last 2 years. More than 57 Dehqan farming businesses in 8 districts of the Khatlon region received equipment tractors and grants starting at $4,000 US.
Получали гранты от $4,000.
By the way, unlike many of his colleagues, Hudaydot Khalov is more interested in the information and consultative aspects of international programs. He has not missed any of the seminars, even if the theme is not particularly relevant to his farming business. Right now, I'm growing potatoes, onions, garlic, strawberries, and lemons. I also have a small garden, but it is quite possible that my range of products changes, and then all this new knowledge will be useful. At the moment, Huraydot Holov is planning to learn the basic skills of navigating the internet. According to the farmer, it is no longer possible to work without communication with the global information space. It is necessary to develop and stay on top of all the trends in the agrarian sector. And the earth will surely respond to such simple and noble wishes. What do amateur auto testing and a children's drawing competition have in common? Both require an ambition for self-expression, individuality, and a desire to win. And for the spectators, this is an opportunity to dive into the exciting world of sports and art. All this coming up in our closing stories.
Смотрите Центральноазиатский калейдоскоп.
Formula One, monster truck championships, round-the-clock racing in the French Le Mans, or around along the American Daytona racetrack. The prestige of these competitions keeps many car lovers awake, including the auto testing enthusiasts in Kyrgyzstan. These people know no limits. Traffic signs and speed limits are foreign to them. They are only driven by their flaming hearts and a thirst for adrenaline. Their goal? To skillfully pass a number of obstacles and get to the finish line in the shortest time possible. Champions are born in this battle against time to the sound of the roaring engines. We provide an opportunity to everyone who wants to showcase their skills, specifically in such events. We do this in specially designated places in full compliance with the law. In modern slang, the speedy passing of a section of the road with the rear or all-wheel sliding is called drifting. Street drifting differs from classical drifting as it does not stretch out for hundreds of kilometers and the cars do not start drifting at high speeds. Just as you've reached a high speed, it is already time to slow down to go around a pin without knocking it down. Adrenaline just rushes through your hands. I can't express it, you have to try it. Of great help in these competitions is a technically well-tuned car. These cars are not tuned in specialized salons and were not built exclusively for racing. Standard horsepower and an average rotational power are not enough for these competition enthusiasts. They need a massively powerful engine, explosive starting speed, and a deadly clutch of the brakes. In order to achieve this, the cars undergo a significant amount of reformatting work, which is also not that cheap. The motor, engine, suspension, brakes, all from the latest generation of Subaru. Everything is ready for the auto testing competition. When your heart demands speed, your hands steering power, and your blood adrenaline, one will do anything to realize their sacred dream, just as it is done by the auto testing enthusiasts in Kyrgyzstan. In the southern capital of Kazakhstan, Almaty, a children's drawing competition was held, titled Turkmenistan Through the Eyes of Kazakhstan's Children. A peaceful ultramarine sky, sun rays outlined by a rich yellow ochre pigment, and of course the scarlet carpet designs. Some strokes were made with a shaky confidence, and others are more daring. All these drawings are showing to the entire world how children see and marvel at what Turkmenistan has to offer. There are some portraits among the pictures. For example, young Angelika Zakharkova, a winner in the 10 to 11 age category, drew a Turkmen girl in a national costume. All the details are emphasized with precision: the thick braids, the headwear, and the pattern design. And the most important, the smile. Before drawing this, I didn't know anything about the country. My teacher, Lyudmila Mikhailovna, suggested it to me. I drew Jeanette, this is my work. She lives in the country, it's very colorful and bright. Organization of such an exhibition is an excellent opportunity for children in various countries to find out about the culture of their regional neighbors and thus grow up with a sense of respect towards other nations. By investing into our children, we're investing into our future, because the kind of future that awaits us depends on the values that are instilled in them. By interacting with each other, children found out a lot about Turkmenistan, a country that they've never visited, and this will be an inspiration for their future artistic endeavors. You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.